good, Captain Tower? Y'all was just rocking down. What's good with you? Hey, man, you know, I've been bumping motherfucking one West till they bury me, man. I just want to let you know. Listen to these other niggas, man. These niggas ain't fucking with you, bro. These motherfucking bars, you spitting that real shit you dropping. That's what niggas need in the motherfucking hip hop right now. All these niggas talking about this motherfucking popping Molly getting wet. These niggas loving thoughts, man. Fuck all that bullshit, man. You a real motherfucking nigga. Keep dropping that real shit, and niggas gonna get on with that shit. Niggas need to get their boots laced up. Niggas need to get their motherfucking fringes, grow that beard out. Niggas need that soldier shit. You bringing that motherfucking shit, man. Keep laying that shit down. You understand? Because right now, we need real niggas, and you the last real nigga left. My nigga, Captain Town War. One West till they bury me. Y'all already know what it is. And the rest of you bitch ass niggas out there, fuck them.
Smoke 730 1 West. They don't want no problems.
They don't want no smoke. What I tell them? Fuck them. Pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck them. Hit them with the foe. What we tell them? Fuck them. They don't want no problem. They don't want no smoke. What I tell them? Fuck em, pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck em, hit them with the fork. What we tell them? Fuck em, they don't want no problem. You know my motto is fuck em, that's all I gotta say. Scope on the rifle that'll spot you from a mile away. Still getting women drunk off Hennessy and Alizé. Still with them niggas loading hollow tips inside the cake. Still be on that same shit, but I kinda change with multiplying bitches. Might not see me with the same bitch, but you might see me riding 95 North in the black Mitsubishi 195 horse. Power with no sour, couple bottles there, of course. R.I.P. to all my fallen riders in the morgue. Yeah, you know I got the juice, know I got the sauce. And then Superflies pull a fatty in the Porsche. I don't need a Molly just to pop her out of drawers. Shorty getting naked cause she know that I'm the bore. Ready for that drama, man, I'm ready for the war. If he talking reckless, he don't really love his jaw. Fuck him to the DA, fuck him to the law. Fuck him cause they got my brother stuck behind them bars. Fuck him to the PD, fuck him to the force. Fuck him to the haters just without the intercourse. They don't want no smoke. What I tell them? Fuck em. Pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck em. Hit them with the foe. What we tell them? Fuck em. They don't want no problem. They don't want no smoke. What I tell them? Fuck em. Pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck em. Hit them with the foe. What we tell them? And fuck em. They don't want no problem. We got tons of guns, don't make us use it. Doing something stupid, resulting you being toothless. Getting broad topless in the whip like it's ruthless. Like my girl's chocolate with the chips, so she useless. Always been the nigga that's too big for the Gucci. Long as I got enough room to squeeze in the Thule. Couple extra clips, set it scenes from your movie. Step up in the club, ready, smelling like a brewery. Then I mix the frankincense, peep the aroma. Hebrew fresh to death, you in a coma. Shit, you just a player in the game, I'm the owner. Bitches call me, but for you don't pick the phone up. Niggas talking childish shit, I'm a grown up. New for a while, I'm sick, peep me throwing up. Keep guns on every floor of my house. Yeah, you might make it in, but you ain't making it out. It's kinda like you got a bullseye taped to your scalp. It's like you walking through the jungle, but the lions is out. UPK bend them niggas, what you lying about? The generals will get a word, I'll punch you right in your mouth, nigga. They don't want no smoke. What I tell them? Fuck em. Pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck em. Hit them with the foe. What we tell them? Fuck em. They don't want no problem. They don't want no smoke. What I tell them? Fuck em. Pull up to they show. What you tell them? Fuck em. Hit them with the foe. What we tell them? Fuck em. They don't want no problem. They don't want no problem. Fuck em. They don't want no problems. Fuck em. They don't want no problem. They don't want no.
Hey, what they do, dawg?
What they do, bro?
You know what time it is, man.
Yeah, they already
Coming out the boondocks, the ghettos, the barrios, nigga, the wood lots. You know what time it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a takeover, dawg. You know what I'm saying? Mr. 249, nigga, I ain't talking about the time, dawg. Yeah!
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
The number of black
it's a
children
very
in poverty
mean
is now more
and
than the
nasty place,
population
and I don't
of
care
white
how
kids.
tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life.
Child.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
I'm from a place where they don't deliver pizza and won't deliver my people, even if they call them FEMA. A place where black women say they don't need you, where everybody broke and selling dope, the only way to feed them. Shit is food bar, fucked up beyond all recognition. Crackers hiding 2 million niggas in prison. Now move your ass over, cause I'm coming hard like Captain Mashak Garment at the 49th pass over. They already know, don't piss me off and make me grab Captain Tazaria and load him up with 17 shots of Captain Cottazar and bust every round and make them connect like high-speed Wi-Fi. So don't call that motherfucking line radio. Run west. This ain't what you want, Breakfast Club ass niggas. We ain't seeing y'all and don't give a damn if it's all three of y'all. And I ain't really a social media nigga. I'm more of a 3D up front, say it in your face, nigga. And every man ain't a faggot, and every faggot ain't no fucking man. Yeah, you heard what the fuck I said. My speech is rude, man up or move. You can't pick and choose who you con out of one con to. In this school, you will follow the rules, no excuse, and give a brother his respect that is due. I see a church sign, I cross that shit out and let them know for sure that UPK was fucking here. I been through it all, back against the wall, died and came back, so it ain't a man that I fucking feel. They say the truth will set you free, so when I tell you the truth, I'm making you free with this speech. Isaiah 49:23, get on your knees and kiss the boots of the kings and the priests. Truth and lies don't mix, that's like trying to put 2 men together and expect for them to have a kid. A Jew lies with the ish, so when you put the words together, all you is Jewish. I came to peep out your world, this is a nice place. Then he says it ain't for sale, just for showcase. My apologies, devil, you must mistake. I didn't come to ask, bitch, I came to take. Yeah! Who's the power? Y'all better shoot your shot the power. Who's the power? Y'all better shoot your shot the power. Who do we feel? The power we feel. Who do we feel? The power we feel. Who's your king? Y'all shout. Who's your king? Y'all shout. What's your name? Israel. I see you looking still acting like we strangers, but we blood brothers, hang each other like we fucking dangerous. Your mamas call us vagabond, so you don't hang with us, but I bet you hear me if I speak in your own language.
Live it, 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 live it.
I remember the days when y'all was picked on. I remember the days when y'all was shitted on. I remember the days when y'all stood alone. I remember Rachel, the baddest Haitian in my project homes.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on,
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it cautious. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5 but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a cod. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowin' by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to boss shit.
We love, we good? Hey, Shalom Israel. Oh, Shalom. Yeah, damn right. Clap it up. Hey, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, Yahweh Shemal Athun, Bashem Yahweh Shai. Isupk Indianapolis, Officer 5000, Fathers Alabama. You already know what it is. We coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Gene Hunter. We teach you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans what you need to know. Because without us, you don't know a damn thing. Without the knowledge, without this truth, you put all your faith in your education. Am I saying something that ain't true, Kwame Park? You put all your faith, you put all your eggs into that basket. You know what that tells about? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans put all their eggs into that education basket, right? Of course, education being really the foundation. Right, education, you're going they say, of course, with education, you're going to better educate your family, you're going to better educate yourself, which is going to lead to a higher parent salary, economic empowerment, you know, just the whole thing. They put so much, right, so much into the knowledge of this world, right? Speaking of that, I didn't know I was going to say that, but I now want that scripture, the wisdom of this world. Of this world. Let's get 1 Corinthians 3:19. 1 Corinthians 3:19. Right. If leave it to black people, you listen to people like Jada Pinkett Smith. You listen to Steve Harvey. You listen to Kevin Samuels. You listen to T.D. Jakes. You listen to, Creflo Dollar. You listen to Al Sharpton. You listen to, whoever has the floor. Whoever this oppressor gives the floor to, that's who you will listen to. You following after some whore because she has a red table. Or you following after Steve Harvey because he hosts the Family Feud. He's nobody to listen to, right? Brother, need to get it. Take your time out. Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. And tonight we're going to be going into, the wisdom of this world, right? The wisdom of this world and how black people, right? Black people really, you really been slapped in the face by Joe Biden. All you all that come against the Isupk, right? When we tell you not to go out there and vote, we tell you not to go out there and march. We tell you not to beg and plead to your massa, right? And then you call us radicals. You say that we are in a cult. You are in a cult, right? There's a cult that comes around every 2 to 4 years with voting, right? Voting, and you just putting your faith, like you get all up in arms, like you got to go and vote, like it's earth-shattering. Like you voting for these people is earth shattering. You listening to these, big head Negroes is earth shattering. Well, we're gonna prove to you today that what you following is false and a lie, and it's not gaining you anything.
Right.
You were saying something, Quan?
A lie, sir.
Let's get that. First Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19.
First Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19.
So like let the brother get that.
All
right. You good, Warrior? We got any questions online? Anybody checking in yet? Any questions? Oh, most times, Chris. All right, let's get it.
First Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
For the wisdom of this world is foolish with God.
Say it again.
For the wisdom of this world is foolish with God.
The wisdom of this world. What's the wisdom of this world? Give me some examples of wisdom of this world. Taza Bob, what's wisdom of this world? Don't make it complicated. It's very simple. It's very simple. What's wisdom? What is considered wisdom in this world? In this age or society?
Getting power from the getting knowledge and getting power from the Most High.
No, that's not what's considered wisdom in this world. Not talking about the ISBK. You thinking righteously. I'm thinking your average person in the streets. If you ask them, what would they say wisdom is? Or, what would you consider the wisdom of this world? It's not complicated. It's very simple. You don't overthink it. We'll give Quan a try. Go ahead, Quan.
You got the school systems, you got the celebrities, where they think, he's successful.
Yeah, let's stay there. The school system, that's considered wisdom in this world. You go K through 12, right? Kindergarten through the 12th grade, and then you go to college. You go on past college, you get a master's degree, right? You go past your master's, you get a PhD, right? And ain't nothing wrong with that. We'll never tell you not to gain power, not to gain knowledge, not to better yourself. You should be looking to gain power. It's because knowledge is power. The more you know. Like someone who goes through and gets a MD, a medical doctor, that's power, right? Because now you can help people live, right? That's power. That's power that I don't have. I could bandage you up. I may be able to put a rough stitch in you, get you a little tourniquet, but that's where my expertise stops. You got something internal going in there. You dead if it's depending on me. It's a lie. The Lord got to be with us. But somebody who has MD, that's very powerful, right? But this is what the blackity blacks tell you, right? Any big head Negro with a high paying job or with, a high education level, or he's made it. With people like Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice, they speak against critical race theory. Why? Because they got what they've gotten out of this society, right? She's worked in the cabinet of presidents. She's very rich, very educated, speaks like 8 languages, is a professional piano player, right? She has many skills, right? A lot of power that she's gained in the society. So in her mind, black people should do what she did, right? And so she puts her faith in that. But what does the Bible say? Read it again.
First Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he that taketh...
Matter of fact, start at 18.
First Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. Let no man deceive himself.
Don't deceive yourself, black people. You big head Negroes that think that you're gonna, get black people out of their condition. Like it's like in my mind, they don't even know what they're talking about. They say, yeah, education, 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 but not everyone has access to education, right? And then a lot of times they say, well, you can get a Pell Grant. Yeah, you might better qualify for a Pell Grant, right? Which is kind of the federal grant, standard grant that you get to go to school. But it's not going to pay for your whole entire school, right? And even if it does pay for the bulk of it, you're probably going to have to get student loans. So that means you're immediately going into debt. You're immediately going into debt, right? Don't deceive yourself. People like Condoleezza Rice, Ben Carson, Stephen A. Smith, Sheriff Clark, all these people who hate black people, right? Who look down on black people because they made it. Don't deceive yourself. Read.
For it's like, if any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool.
That's what you should do. That's what you should do. You should become a fool. If you appear to be wise in this world, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you should act foolish. That's not what they're saying. You should come before the Lord like you know nothing. Each brother in here had to be born again. You had to have your brain washed. Right? That's what you had to happen when you come in here. You come in here, you're like, oh man, I thought, Christ was born through immaculate conception. Throw that out. I thought it was the Holy Trinity. Throw that out. I thought Adam and Eve was the first man. Adam was the first man, and Eve was taken out of his side, out of his rib. Throw that out. You gotta become like a fool. You don't know a damn thing in here. And that's what these so-called black leaders should do. They should say, you know what? We don't know how to fix black people. We don't know the answers. We don't know the solution. Now, what they can say is getting education is good. That is true. Getting education is good. Gaining power is good. If you can become get a Juris Doctorate, right? Meaning you're a lawyer, esquire, become an esquire, a lawyer, that's good. Doctors, lawyers, carpenters, plumbers, HVAC technicians, mechanics, all that stuff is good. It's always good to learn why, because now you can help build a nation. You can help build a nation with that kind of stuff. You got some real skills. Go ahead.
It's like when they be saying, I was just thinking about when they be saying, you gotta fight the system within. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We've tried that. We've tried fighting the system within. We've tried fighting the system from the outside. The Black Panthers tried it. They tried everything that they could outside of the oppressor, except they failed because they were integrated with oppressors. And you can't integrate another nation if you want to become free. At the end of the day, that's what most black people want. They just don't know that they want it. Most black people and Hispanics and Native Americans know, right, that we have to have some semblance of autonomy, meaning we have to stand alone, right? But their problem is they want to stand alone, but at the same time integrate. You can't. You got to have full segregation with your nation. That's how the Chinese do it. Right. You go to Chinatown, they ain't looking for the Arab man to, help them run Chinatown. No. Ain't no Arabs helping running China. Chinese people run Chinatown. You go into the Jewish communities, guess what? Niggas ain't in the Jewish communities helping them unless they work for somebody. But the Jewish people, they manage their own neighborhoods. Same thing with Arabs. They manage their own neighborhoods and stores and things like that. You may work for them. You may make minimum wage for them. But you ain't making no decisions. Black people have to learn that same thing. That's why these black leaders, they have to read that last part again. They have to become what?
Let him become a fool, that he may be wise.
So you can be wise, because right now, these black leaders have no wisdom. Name a black leader. Name a black leader.
TD,
oh man, that was like the most disgusting example he has. He is not wise at all. Not only is he not wise in biblical terms, he doesn't have any wisdom at all. He's not going to save anyone. No one. He can't save anyone. The only thing that he can do is line his pockets. That's it. That is it. He's not going to help you. Okay, let me rephrase that. Maybe he can help you, become wise in the ways of this world. Maybe he can say, I can guide someone through seminary school, and I can teach you the path of how I became a pastor and show you how to shuck and jive, and you can become rich like I. He might be able to do that. He could grab Tazabao and bring him, set him aside, and say, "Here, I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna mentor you. I'm gonna show you how you come up, and this is how you. And this is the pimp game. Basically, it's the pimp game. This is how you become a pimp pastor, and you get your own congregation. You start off small, and then he endorse you, and you visit his church, and he visits your church, and before you know it, Tazabao is up there in a purple robe with a pocket full of money, pimping all the grandmas in Indianapolis. All the grandmas know Tazabao, except they ain't gonna call him Tazabao. They don't call him Pastor Slave, whatever slave name. Yeah, Pastor, come, listen, I made this pie for you. I want you to, pray for me. Listen, I appreciate this pie. You make sure you send in double ties next week. I'm going to pray for you, and everything going to be all right, sister. That's what T.D. Jakes can show you. T.D. Jakes can't break down no Bible scriptures. He can't lead a revolution, which is what's required in America for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and all around the world. That's what's required. Don't be deceived. The scripture said, the first thing he said, let no man deceive himself. Don't deceive yourself. Don't try to tell yourself that you don't need a revolution to get black people out of this condition. You need an absolute revolution. You need what's called critical thinkers, like Commander Gianni. Like he's somebody who was taught under men and learned what he learned about the Bible, and now he thinks critically. Like he knows, like, okay, this is what the Bible is telling me to do, so I should do it. I looked at the history, and this is how the children of Israel got out of hell. That's somebody who can think critically and not be a selfish bastard. T.D. Jakes, he ain't no critical thinker. All he does is go along with what's been told to him. I'm gonna be a pastor. I'm gonna make a lot of money. Black people gonna love me. They're gonna give me all they love and support. I'm really not gonna give them anything. That's it. That's it. At the end of the day, that's your black leadership. No matter who you name. He just named T.D. Jakes. Just fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. Any other black leader outside of Commander Gianni. Just fill in the blank. And they can't help you at all. Keep going.
Kettle come. Verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
The wisdom of this world is foolishness. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't become wise in the ways of this world? Meaning you shouldn't get an education, you shouldn't know how, to operate on earth? That's not what that's talking about. It's talking about you putting your faith in your degree. You putting your faith into education and money. And that's wisdom of this world. The wisdom of this world say, get as rich as you can, and it don't matter how rich you get or how you get those riches. Just get rich. If you can get away with it, get rich. Think about it. Think about in the richest empire on the planet, you got grocery stores, like you can't even afford groceries. I always laugh at this, man, because my dad always used to be like, man, I remember I used to go into the store with a quarter, 2 quarters, and come out with a bag full of groceries. And like, I believe him because I remember I could just use my own, my own information, my own data based on when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, you get a bag of chips, it was 25 cents. Right. You know what I mean? And then as I got older, like it went to 50 cents, 75 cent dollar. And then they get you. People start working like, man, them chips cost a whole bunch. And now they give you the little bag for 25 cents. You know what I mean? I think I shared this with you before. I gave my son one of those bags of chips. It was probably, the grab bag. I think he was 4 at the time. I opened them for him. He was like, who ate some of my chips? You know what I'm saying? Like, even at a young age, you see that this world, man, like, they get rich off you, and they don't give a damn how poor you are. Like, there's no reason why everybody shouldn't eat free in this country. In the world. The world has enough money, enough resources, enough riches to feed everybody. This empire has this world has no righteousness. There's only wickedness in this world. And the people who are super filthy rich could really feed the earth. Literally, they could feed the earth and not even have to worry about losing a bunch of money. Right? That's how you know that the wisdom in this world tells you to get rich and forget about people. Well, the scriptures say, when the righteous are in rulership, the people rejoice. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. The people mourn, and that's what you're seeing. Well, not just Israelites, but there's other nations that are in mourning as well. They're in mourning because they're poor and they've been colonized and they've been destroyed by this oppressor as well. Any more? No, you could drop that. All right, so I set all that up to say that was a long setup. I set all that up to say, let me get you the article. I didn't send it to you earlier. The article about Joe Biden. You said that you was looking it up already, right?
I was not the article. It was the promises that he had made.
Where'd you read that at?
It's the Biden Promise Tracker, and it's over 100 promises, but not one pertaining to black people.
Man, let's pull that up. And here go the article too. I'm gonna send you this article. Let's get this article pulled up as well. So this is, of course, this is the subject of the class. And the wisdom of this world, man, is folly to the Most High. The knowledge of this world, what people put their faith in, what you think is going to get you out of this condition. If you think you're going to help black people with just education, you're sadly mistaken. This education ain't going to get us to be a first-class citizen.
Right.
You're not going to become a first-class citizen. Like, really, in your mind, I would say this is probably true for most black people. Like, most black people are just trying to get to a point where they can own a house, take a couple vacations, raise a family, make a decent salary, nice car in the driveway. Like, that's kind of what a lot of people gravitate to. Man, I just love to have a house. I love to have a nice car. I love to be able to take a couple vacations a year. Listen, you, on average, your net worth, meaning if you cashed in everything you own and all your bills is covered, on average, your net worth is $11,000. That's it. $11,000 ain't but, maybe 3 months expenses, 4 months expenses, maybe?
Right.
Guess how much your oppressor's net worth is? On average, $142,000 on average. That's, you can stretch that out if need be. 3 years, if need be, right? 3-4 years. A lot of black people living on a lot less than that in 3 years. Some people won't see $142,000 in 5 years. Your oppressor, that's their net worth. So they could, black people could take their net worth, and your average black person could probably live about 5 years off that if they needed to.
Right.
If they needed to, because they're living on less now. That's the truth. And your black leaders will tell you, yeah, just get education. You gotta educate yourself. We gotta, have economic power. We gotta be this, we gotta be that. The wisdom of this world is folly, man. Without the Most High, none of that trash matter. It don't matter. We could be rich as hell in this empire, and guess what? We'll end up like Tulsa, Oklahoma. We'll end up like Black Wall Street. We'll end up like Rosewood. We'll end up like Seneca Village. Right. We'll end up somehow, some way destroyed by our oppressor. Because we're not serving the Lord. This is what you got to understand. If you black, Hispanic, and Native American, it doesn't matter what you know, what you learn, who you connected with, how much behind of the oppressors you kiss. If you're not serving the Lord, you're going to be destroyed in this empire. And that's it. You got that article? Well, let's get the promises first. Run. See how many? It's not a whole 100, is it? Let's run down a few of them. You said there's none on there for black people, or did he make promises? He made promises to black people, right?
And that was like, let me see. It was one. I seen one. I want something for the African Americans.
Yeah, let's read it.
Oh, reduce health uninsured rate for African Americans.
Say it again.
Reduce health uninsured rate for African Americans.
So he said that he would reduce the what? The rate?
Uninsured rate for African Americans.
Okay, meaning he's going to make sure more African Americans become get health insurance. Right. So I don't know. Are they saying that he hasn't done it yet?
Let's see. Reducing the uninsured rate for African American naturally 11% of non-elderly African American are uninsured compared to 8% of white people.
Mm.
So,
and then you got to put that into perspective. Excuse me. Black people like 12% of the population.
Right.
Yet more of us are uninsured. Like statistically, you would think there'd be more oppressors uninsured, but you got more black people uninsured, and we're a lot less of the population. Go ahead, Quan.
Kevin. So you got restore Cuba engagement.
Okay, next.
Eliminate the federal death penalty.
Oh, get out of here. Man, you know they gonna kill niggas.
Right.
You know they gonna kill niggas.
So like, they be lucky to make it to the cell.
Yeah, he's talking about, come on, that ain't, listen, you got southern states who will never get rid of death penalty.
Right.
They believe in killing.
Right.
Go ahead.
Rejoin Iran nuclear deal.
Yeah.
Invest $300 million in COPS program.
He said what?
Invest $300 million in COPS program.
See, black people should have saw that and be like, nah, we ain't vote. He was like, you ain't black if you ain't vote for me. They could at least say, well, you ain't getting my vote if you're increasing funding for the police, because we already over-policed.
Right.
Go ahead.
Reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act.
Say that again.
Reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act.
Okay. Go ahead.
Titan Made in America rules.
Well, that's enough. Do you see any more specific for black people?
So like that was it.
So, I think he did make some more promises to black people. Maybe I don't know. I didn't follow it like that. But maybe he did. Maybe black people was just so gamed up. Maybe he didn't even really promise them nothing.
So like,
go ahead.
Remember, he did make that one promise when he was talking to I'm the only one that talked about what's going on to black people. Remember, he was talking about that. I got up there and I said something about it. That's a lot. That's more than anybody else would do. That's about it, other one.
Yeah, now black people been getting gamed up for so long in this voting thing. It's like, unless somebody come right out, like I can't see how black people getting gamed up unless somebody came right out and say, listen, I guarantee reparations. Then, niggas like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't even said that. He ain't say that, he ain't never made no promise. I think he said that he would look into it or something. I don't know.
Right.
Something like that. Go ahead, Corey.
And also, he said nominate the first black woman to U.S. Supreme Court.
Gotcha. Right. And so, of course, black people was even more gamed up. Like Democrats know how to pull your card. They know how to pull your strings and make you dance. Because he went and got that East Indian, that dusty ass East Indian, and all you black women just fell in love with her. Kamala Harris, she a AKA too, which is a sorority, is one of the Divine Nine sororities. AKAs is, according to the world, very prestigious sorority to get into. She a AKA, and she went to Howard University, and she had hot sauce on her chicken. It's like, oh my goodness, man. Y'all get gamed up so easy to put all your faith in this. But again, the scriptures say the wisdom of this world is folly. Now take me to the article about the show.
Body blows.
Oh, any questions online? Okay, go ahead.
Body blows for Biden as voters in Virginia and New Jersey desert Democrat.
So they saying Virginia and New Jersey, they do what?
Oh, slightly. Desert,
right? They desert the Democrats. Black people, you got to start paying attention to what's going on. Like the Republicans, right? they don't promise you anything. They promise you, they don't promise you like you're gonna get reparations. You pretty much know where you stand with Republicans. But the reason you trust these Democrats is because they gang you up. Joe Biden straight gamed up black people and Hispanic people. Right. So much so that he put a running mate on his car and she ain't even black. And even though it was things out there that said that she was black, the first black woman nominated to be vice president, she is not black. Her people, she descends from East Indians. Right. Right. And the only tie of blackness that she has, I believe, is her grandmother, her great grandmother on her mother's side, if I'm not mistaken. Her great grandmother or her grandmother on her mother's side, right, is Jamaican, is a Benjamite. Right. And so she spent some time down in the in Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken. And that's where she kind of got some semblance of her blackness from. Right. She got a little bit of soul sprinkled into her. But she'll never be a sister though. Right. Go ahead.
A lot of you been bamboozled.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell him. It's like he played his hand perfectly. Right. Like he came down and said, did he get a point for being a Democrat already? I'm a Democrat, and I was with Barack Obama, so he gained a point with that. And he worked with Bill Clinton, so he gained a point with that. And then he said, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. He just getting all these little points, and then he knew how to get black women too. Go get a so-called black woman, and now all the black women is in love with him, and he won. Of course, the oppressor put him in office, but black people came out. When black people, they tend to sway the vote. You know what I mean? So if black people come out in large numbers, which of course, what was going to happen with Trump. Black people just thought Trump was, the epitome of evil. What you don't know is every president that gets in office is the epitome of evil. Right. Barack Obama. Right. Barack Obama did nothing for black people. Nothing. He always touts this statistic about we had the lowest unemployment rate for African Americans during his tenure. Listen, niggas was broke during Barack Obama. But guess who got a bunch of good stuff? All the car manufacturers, all the homosexuals, they got bills passed. Like your LGBTQ community gets something under damn near every administration. Right? These other minority groups, they get something during every administration damn near. But you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you getting kicked out the country. You go serve in the war. When you come back from the war, your family is deported, and then they deport you. Right. Native Americans, forget about it. You can't even keep land that they promised to you. They running pipelines through your land, and black people, you just target practice in the hood. You just straight up and down target practice. Right. Anytime they feel like killing you. Right. Anytime they feel like killing you, they're gonna get away with it too. You get one Derek Chauvin prosecuted and sent to prison, and he may get out. Amber Geiger too. They both plan on appealing, and they may get out. Right. Go ahead. You can take me to that article. Sir. Oh, go ahead, tell us about.
I got a question. Mm-hmm. Like, I never really paid attention to, like, what's the pipeline for? The pipeline? I heard about it. A lot of welders for that pipeline. What is it for?
Yeah, so they had land. Was it South Dakota?
North Dakota.
North Dakota?
Through South Dakota, I think.
Look it up real fast.
I heard about it, but I know a double in Texas that talking about going to it and all of that. But I want to know why. What was it for?
Yeah, so basically, Native Americans had Native Americans had sacred land, right? And this land was reserved for them. And so corporations wanted to run a pipeline through it, the oil pipeline. And so because these corporations wanted to run a oil pipeline through it, the government backed them up instead of saying, no, this is their land, right? This is reserved for them. And at the end of the day, they ran the pipeline through it. and that, like it was a whole big thing. You should go Google it when you get home. I mean, the Native Americans, they protested, had a bunch of support. And at the end of the day, the oppressor still ran the pipeline through it. And guess what? It leaked. The damn pipeline leaked, which was their fear. You know what I'm saying? You got oil pipeline running through your land. It's going to, if it leaks, it's water contamination, soil contamination. It affects the whole ecosystem. You know what I mean? And so that's one of their fears. Like, this sacred land is supposed to be for us. So now here comes some rich corporation wants to run an oil, pipeline through their land. They like, nah. And it's a whole thing. I mean, they getting hoses sprayed on them. They got the whole military out there. I can't remember whether it was National Guard or part of the active duty soldiers, but I think it was National Guard. They had the National Guard out there backing them up and kicking them off their land. There's a whole mess. A whole mess. And then your black leadership will see that and say, well, you know what? We just all need to come together. What we come together for? They're going to take what they want. Go ahead, talk about it.
I think the Indians or whatever, I think they did protests or whatever, about against that or something. But we did Rooster one time, and I think they were talking about something about that pipeline and stuff.
Where was this at?
Bismarck, South Dakota, right?
Bismarck, North Dakota.
Y'all did roofing in North Dakota. Yeah. So that was probably it. Yeah. Yeah, that was probably it.
Okay.
That was probably it right there. You should look it up. It just adds to the point that we making here in class. Like, there's no coming together with someone who's unrighteous. You can't. Like, you got a person, that's like saying you got somebody who launders money, right? Somebody who launders money, and y'all gonna go into business together. You know he launders money, right? And he said, "Oh, I'm not gonna launder money. I'm done with that. I'm through." He's been locked up for laundering money 3 times. You know what I mean? He's not gonna change. He's not gonna change. He's gonna launder that money. But you said, "Okay, yeah, let's go into business. Start business off. Business is going well. You start getting some money in this account. Pretty soon, the paperwork ain't adding up. You say your account's supposed to have $8,000 in it or $80,000 in it. Guess what? It's missing a zero. You only got $8,000 in there. You're like, what is going on? Where all this money go? You went into business with a known money launderer. He's gonna do what he's got to do. That's what black people has to realize about this oppressor. He is a devil. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He is not going to change. He's not going to change. Find me the scripture where it say, the Lord, how can you make straight what the Lord has made crooked?
Ecclesiastes 7:13.
It's good. You can't make straight what the Lord has made crooked. He's meant to be that way. Yeah, consider the works of God. Kwame, you trying to remember some scriptures?
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Nah.
That's where I get the scriptures from.
Most High in Christ.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Consider the work of God.
Mm-hmm.
For who can make that straight, which he hath made crooked?
Right? Who can make straight? Meaning you're trying to come together with this nation, right? With a nation that's of known, like it's prophesied, right? You go look at the curses, and this is a nation of fierce countenance. It doesn't have regard for the young or the old. They don't give a damn about children. They don't give a damn about elderly. They don't give a damn about the poor. They don't give a damn about Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, or none of them rich Negroes either. They don't care about them. They just got enough money, like the scriptures say, money is a defense. So you can deal with a lot more when you're rich. You kind of a little bit more accepted. But at the end of the day, you'll never be fully accepted. Go ahead.
So you want to keep on reading?
Was that it?
Kettle concert.
Right. So yeah, that was it. You can't make straight what the Lord has made crooked. Look like we got a question online.
Kettle concert. Super Sakan. Ezekiel 28 and 12 through 14. Shalak, Yalawan. My question is, the king of Tyre was a man, but it say he was in the Garden of Eden. So is that Satan?
No.
Need a breakdown, sir.
Yeah, let's get it. What is it? Ezekiel what?
Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 12.
Ezekiel 28 and 12?
Come, sir. Through 14.
Okay.
Come. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 12. Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, thus said the Lord God, thou sealest up the sum, full of wisdom, and perfect in beauty.
Keep going.
Verse 13. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold, the workmanship of thy tabret and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created. Verse 14. Thou art the anointed strubs that covered it.
Let's go up, because I think I understand this question. He's asking, was this Satan or is this, some kind of spirit? It is not. Just go up to 28 and 1. And that's usually what you got to do with a lot of these things. When you have a question, try to read up and try to read down, and it'll help you understand the breakdown of it. Go ahead, start with 1.
Come. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus.
Right, so now we know who we're talking about, the prince of Tyrus. Go ahead.
Thus said the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up.
Because you're proud. That's what it means to have a lifted up heart, meaning you're proud. That's what the scriptures say about the oppressor in Obadiah. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee.
Right.
Go ahead.
And thou hast said, I am a God.
That's what he said. That's what your oppressor says too. That same spirit, in Obadiah broke down, he said, I shall be as a God, right? In Obadiah. Let's get that real quick, then we coming back to this. Obadiah only 1 chapter, so that's the beautiful thing. We get into it real quick.
Obadiah 1.
Yeah, it's only has 1.
Right.
I shall be, where's 1? I shall be like God. Who shall bring thou? See if you can find it, Kwame. Where he says, I shall be as God, or be like God. Where I cannot find it. I know it's right there. As soon as I stop looking for it, I'm gonna find it later. Let me just see if I can Google it.
Yeah, I know you said all that.
All right. Well, I can't spend too much time on it. I guarantee you, I'm gonna find it later. Like there it was. You can take me back.
Kettle Comes, sir. Kettle Comes. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man.
Say that again.
I sit in the seats of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man.
But this person that we're talking about is a man. Now, what is he talking about in the garden? He's talking about that land, right? He's talking about that land, or what you would consider around the land of Canaan. You know, when we had to fight to go back, when we left Israel, the scriptures kept talking about we had to go and fight, you know, against the land of Canaan. But that land that was Canaan, that land was originally ours. That whole Garden of Eden area. You understand? So that's what it's talking about as far as the land of Canaan. And no, this was not a some kind of spirit or anything. That was a man. It was the king of Tyrus, and he's basically sent out. Ezekiel is basically sent out to prophesy against him, as we're sent out to prophesy against America. Right. So let me know if that answers your question. Yeah. While he's doing that, Kwame, let's go back to the article.
Come.
And get into that.
Come, sir. This is the body blows for Biden. Less than a year after taking control of the White House.
Less than a year, right? Go ahead.
Of taking control of the White House and Congress, Democrats, and Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats were reeling on Wednesday from a shocking defeat in Virginia.
Right. So of course, each of these states is a stronghold because generally, if a state votes Democratic for the president, a lot of times there's a good chance it's going to vote Democratic for like the governor and Senate and all those other seats that come with the government. You know, not necessarily for the city, but a lot of times, not necessarily like for the mayor or at the city level, but the state level, senates and congressmen and governor, right? And so this article is saying Virginia dealt Democrats a blow because it's a place that traditionally is going to be Democratic, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead. And a Republican just ran, which is the issue. Just one. A Republican just won.
So sir,
Go ahead.
So they started the voting stuff back up?
Yeah, so of course this stuff happens, it is not every 4 years for everybody. Sometimes it's every 2 years. For governor, I'm not even sure. You can just look or like Google it real fast.
Oh, this is the governor.
Yeah, governor. Yeah. No, Biden just got in.
Yeah.
It ain't been a whole year yet. That's what this article is saying. Go ahead.
From a shocking defeat in Virginia and a too close to call governor race in New Jersey as Joe Biden's popularity sinks and his domestic agenda hang in the balance.
Hey, his domestic agenda. What's a domestic agenda? Meaning the agenda that he has here for the U.S. Like every president has an agenda for like what they're going to do at the for the world, right? So one of the things like you read earlier, he wants to get back into the Iran program, the weapons program, and make sure everything's smooth. He wants to negotiate with Cuba, make sure that they have good relationships. There's a whole agenda that he has, things he wants to accomplish as the president from a world level, but on a domestic level, like he wants to, what was one of the things he said? He wants to invest $300 million in police. He has a whole list of things he wants to do here for the U.S., right? So it's saying that his domestic plans, what?
Joe Biden's popularity sinks as his domestic agenda hangs in the balance.
His domestic agenda hangs in the balance. It's hanging in the balance is because here you got to have support. Now, we know that's a lie. We know he don't need all this. Oh, listen, a president can issue reparations if he wants to. Maybe not reparations, but he can do a lot. Why do I say that? Why would I say a president can do mostly everything he wants?
So like the branches? Branches, right?
No, just take a very practical example of someone who was recently in an office.
Oh, so like
go ahead.
Donald Trump did whatever he wanted.
Donald Trump did whatever the hell he wanted to do. Donald Trump was like executive order, executive order, executive order, executive order. Donald Trump didn't give a damn about having collaborations with the Democrats. Donald Trump didn't even really care about Republicans. He liked the Republicans that were with him. He wasn't for all Republicans. Right. Donald Trump did whatever the hell he wanted. That's what I liked about him. Not that I like, him as a person, but I'm saying he got stuff done. Like that's what you gotta do. Like if you got an agenda, you gotta get it done. I ain't got time to be waiting on y'all and vote on this and vote on that. The hell with that. Executive order, I'm in charge. Boom, get it done. Joe Biden, well, we can't really give you reparations. We really can't afford to. Yet you give Israel, the land of Israel, where all the fake Israelites are, not the real Israelites, not the Jeremiah 14:2, right. Not those Israelites, not the Israelites of antiquity, but he gives the Jewish people over there, $3 billion annually. That's what America does annually. $3 billion annually. $3 billion for the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community would be all right. You understand? If we got that annually, we would be all right. Now, of course, we would still need to serve the Lord because we get that money and we'll still be destroyed. Right? There'd be another curse on. Like we would fall under the curses regardless. It don't matter how much money you got. All right. Like we have all that money and still have to borrow. That's what the scriptures say. You shall borrow and not lend. But if you serve me, you would lend and not borrow. We'd still be poor. $3 billion annually, and we'd still be poor if we didn't serve the Lord. Right. But the point is this: America has the wealth and the means to do right by Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but they never will. Never. Go ahead.
Go, sir. Democrats were, in Virginia, a state that has shifted sharply left over the past decade, and that Biden won by 10 points in 2020.
Right, so that's a huge margin, 10 points, right? You won it by 10 points, meaning it was clear and decisive. But now, because Democrats are losing faith in him because he's not doing anything. He's not holding what you put the list of 100 promises that he ain't did, right? Or whatever that list is. Like he's not doing that stuff. And so now Democrats are like, what? You know what? This cat, he ain't doing nothing he said he was going to do. He ain't no Donald Trump. He ain't signing no executive orders. That's my thing. If you ain't signing executive orders, then you ain't trying. Whatever you said you was going to do for black people, you need to try and do. Right. Go ahead.
Republican Glenn Youngkin, a political newcomer, defeated Democrats Terry McAuliffe, the state former governor, and in New Jersey, the Democrat governor Phil Murphy was struggling to turn back a challenge from Republican Jack Ciattarelli. And an unexpected turn of events in a state that is even more reliable than Democrats. Mm-hmm. Together, we will change the trajectory of this commonwealth. And friends, we are coming to start that transformation on day one. There is no time to waste, Youngkin said.
I got to pause you right there. I think I found the scripture. It's not in Obadiah. I thought it was in Obadiah. It is not. I think it's in Isaiah. Let me just check it real quick. That was bugging me for sure. Yes. Hold on. Yes, that's it. Isaiah Isaiah 14 and 14. Actually, it started at Isaiah 14 and 13. This was the other part of the brother's question. Did he ever type in?
He said you did, sir. You answered his question.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
Right.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Right. So that's talking about the oppressor and how he's going to exalt his throne above the stars. I mean, he's going into outer space. He's going to be on Mars. He's going to be on the moon. He's going to be somewhere on that space station above the stars. He's, he is doing what he wants to do. You understand? He doesn't have anybody pulling his reins back and restricting him like we do. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Most High said, you only have I known, therefore I will punish you. That's why you can't be a flaming homosexual,
right,
and not die from something.
Right.
You can't just go and murder everybody without you being murdered. You can't, smoke all the weed and cigarettes and cigars that you want and not get lung cancer. You only have I known, so therefore, guess what? I'm going to punish you.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Come, sir. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
Right. Who's the mount of the congregation?
So, sir, what's saying the mount of the congregation?
What's a congregation?
The people that gathered in of the Lord.
Right. So the congregation is talking about the congregation is talking about the Israelites. They're saying they're going to sit on top of the Israelites.
And
go ahead.
And if I could, and what I was thinking, how they cover the faces of the
judges thereof.
Yeah, kind of, would that be talking about that too? Like how he tried to make basically, Christ is, white. They make everything whitewashed. Let me try to see what I'm trying to say. That's what I mean. That's what it's talking about. What it's talking about. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, making it of him.
I mean, I wouldn't. It's not specifically talking about that, but it's damn sure talking about ruling over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
Which, of course, if you rule over people, then you can paint yourself in their image. You can change their history. You can, do what you want to do.
Right.
So it's hand in hand with it for sure. But it's not talking about that specifically.
And the sides of the north.
In the sides of the north. What's the north? Talking about this place, North America. Go ahead.
Dang. Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Go ahead.
I will be like the Most High.
Man, that's what this oppressor says. He says, I'm going to be like the Most High. Go ahead. Was that it on that, or is it? No, that's it. He said, I'm going to be like the Most High. Imagine the pride, because you can build a ship and you can go into space and, you think you can walk amongst the stars and you got all this power and wealth and might. And you say, you know what? I'm going to be just like the Most High. That's very pride. That's why I thought it was in Obadiah. He says, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. Right? Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high. That's this bastard. The Bible knew. Listen, you say the Bible ain't real, you got to wake up and smell the coffee. It's talking. Look at the oppressor and then read the Bible. They go hand in hand. The same spirit that this person that they're talking about in the Bible is what the oppressor has. That's why the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
All right, let's go back to the article. See if you can find a spot where it says, we'll just keep going. I'll let you know.
Come, sir. Young and said, addressing Joe supporters in the early hours of Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans, resurgent after 5 years of staining defeat during the Donald Trump era.
Go ahead.
Offer a stark warning for Democrats already worried of next year midterm election.
Mm-hmm.
Their wins had echoes of 2009, when Republican victories in Virginia and New Jersey stunning.
What's it? Precedes?
Precedes
Mm-hmm.
their stunning takeover of the House and the 2010 midterm.
Mm-hmm.
In a cycle like this, no Democrats is safe.
No Democrat is safe.
Dang.
Listen, this is Esau or your oppressor, right? The oppressor is looking at him. The oppressors that voted for Joe Biden, they're looking at turning their back on him. But what would black Democrats do next year? Like, well, you know what? We gotta give. And I see these. You know what would be killing me? I see these stars. They come on. Who's Charlemagne the God? He was one of them. I think Ice Cube was another one of them. It's like, yeah, you know, the black people's vote ain't gonna be for free. You gotta give us something. Black people say the same crap every year. We ain't giving you our vote for free. You ain't gonna have our support for free. Guess what? Black people, you give your support for free because you ain't getting a damn thing. You never have and you never will. Asians, an Asian got scratched on the subway. They got a whole damn Asian hate bill, Tazabao. Somebody scratched one of those Asians. You understand? What was it? Would they get kicked in the shin? Boo-hoo. Niggas is getting shot down dead in the streets. We don't have a hate bill for against black people, Hispanics and Native Americans. Them is the people that really need a anti-hate bill. That's who really need it. If anybody needs an anti-hate bill, it's the Lord's chosen people. It's not Asians. Asians, listen, the world is mad at China because of the COVID-19, as they should be. But all of these heathens should be mad at each other for eating unlawful food because that's where you get a lot of these diseases from. Right. Where do you get the average flu from? Anybody know? Your average everyday flu, where does that come from?
It's like, I know.
Go ahead, if you know it.
It's like eating pork.
Eating pigs. That's where your average flu every year that kills tens of thousands of, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people comes from eating swine. Go ahead.
Chinese people all that they all eat a bunch of gross and nasty shit.
They eating
shit off the sea. Shit that's supposed to be for the sea. And all that.
Listen, they eating whatever moves. Pangolin. If it moves, they don't eat a pangolin. You ever seen a pangolin? Put it up. Pangolin. Put it up so the class can see it. They eat it. Shit, I don't get it. It's like pangolin. See if I can find it. Pangbeelion.
You said.
Or Pangoi. I got you. Well, flash that. You don't gotta put it up there. Yeah, just put it up there. Go ahead, Tazabah.
Oh, you remember it's like a show, not show, but like something they did on TV. I forgot the name of it, but like they did like a tournament where see who can eat the most.
Fear Factor.
Oh, Fear Factor.
Fear Factor.
Toenails and shit, and fucking bugs and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, what?
Sorry.
Try to watch it later. No, that's funny. Yeah, these diseases, a lot of times, come from eating unlawful foods. So, in terms of people being mad at people in the Asian communities, like, yeah, they mad. Like, why you starting whole diseases because you want to eat something exotic? That exotic stuff ain't meant to be eaten. Right. You got that pangolin up there? Right. That's what they eating right there. They eating that. For what? That ain't chicken. You better eat some chicken. You better have some fish, some lawful fish. Right. You better have some beef. Beef is good. Why you why you exotic? That ain't what the Lord put that animal on here for. He got a whole nother purpose that the Most High built him for, and that's what he does. Right. You trying to eat him, and you want to cause the COVID-19, and you eating bats. You ever seen a bat? Pull up a bat.
Yeah.
Pull up a bat, and that's the kind of stuff right there. And so they got assaulted a few times, and guess what? President Joe Biden gave them an Asian anti-hate crime bill. Meaning if you commit a crime against an Asian person and it's considered, like a hate crime, then there's a whole bill that comes into place with laws and, certain amounts of times and, different precedents is put in place. So you're going to be punished. But guess what? Black people are unjustly shot down in the streets. Did Joe Biden give an anti-hate bill for black people, Hispanics, and Native Americans? He did not. In fact, you down on the border, you getting whipped. You down on the border in cages. You down in the ghettos getting shot, dead. You in the jail cells getting beat and killed. And then they say, oh, well, you died, they died of natural causes. What? You ain't receiving no crime bills. You ain't receiving no reparations. Joe Biden ain't doing nothing for you. He ain't even changing your community. So when you putting faith in him, you putting your faith in the wrong thing.
Right.
Go ahead. Keep going, Quan. That's what they eating over there, though. And so, yeah, people mad. I'd be mad, too. If I was, if I was a person not brought up in the truth, I'd probably walk right into Chinatown and just start smacking people. What the hell you eating pangolin for? And bat. And whole dogs and cats and everything else. That's what Christianity is so stupid. Christianity is so stupid. Oh, just pray over it. Here, I'm going to just hand you this rat. Here, pray over it and you eat it. You're so dumb if you say you can just eat it. That's what they say. Yeah, just pray over it and eat it. Well, all meat is good. Yeah, you eat all but here. Just take this pangolin.
Right.
Take this armadillo. You might as well eat an armadillo. Go ahead.
And a cycle like this, no Democrat is safe.
No Democrat is safe. That's black people. Black Democrats should wake up to what these oppressor Democrats are saying. It's like, man, you know what? We ain't got no more faith in you, Joe Biden. You ain't delivering on all the promises that you said when you was running for office. Let me get Psalms 118 and 8. Psalms 118 and 8. Tazabal, let me get 146, Psalms 146 and 3. Quran 118 and 8. Right? These oppressors are waking up to what these Democrats are saying. You got to realize at this point, voting, black people, you've been voting since the 60s, right? Either the late 50s or early 60s. And you haven't yet achieved anything that of significance, right? You think because you get a bill that says, you can't discriminate against me because of my hair, like you're progressing. You're not. It'd be better for you just to have your own businesses. It'd be better that Martin Luther King told you not to integrate and that you stay segregated. And you wouldn't have to worry about some kind of bill about hair discrimination. It wouldn't even be a thing because black people could wear their hair how the hell they wanted to wear their hair. And not have to worry about being discriminated against because it'd be blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans all working together.
Right.
You got that scripture, Quan? Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 118, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
Read it again.
It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
Keep going.
Verse 9. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes.
You can't put your confidence in princes or people of what the world considers nobility or high status. You putting your confidence and your faith in Joe Biden, and guess what? His own people don't even have faith in him. His own people see he's not living up to what he said he was going to live up to. And he told you, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Don't you feel like a sample? Don't you feel like a sucker? You should. You should feel like an absolute jackass at this point because he will do nothing for the Israelites, the real Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He's not going to do anything for us. Nothing. Nothing at all. Whatever he put on that list or whatever he said on the campaign trail, it stayed on the campaign trail. And if he does anything, it'll be what? Around the time he needs to get elected again. Right? He's going to ride this out. He's not even a year in yet. So he's got another 2 years before he even could, got to worry about starting doing something for black people. And then if he's going to do something, it's going to be something minimal. It's going to be like, all right, well, look, I gave you niggas this. Now vote for me. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
A stimulus check at the end.
Listen, that stimulus check had y'all open. Y'all like, Joe Biden, he that nigga. Guess what? Them stimulus checks is gone now. Them stimulus checks is a thing of the past. And that just wasn't for black people. So you can't say, oh, like, yeah, he did that. He didn't just do that. He did that for all the Americans qualified for that. That wasn't for black people. He's not going to do. Why? Because he'll never get voted in again if he does something specifically for you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead, Tazabal. You got that?
Oh, you said 146?
Psalms 146, chapter 146, verse 3. You got it?
Chapter 146.
Yeah, Psalms. You in Psalms? Go ahead. You could grab a Quan.
Yeah, he was on Solomon.
Don't sweat it. The brother gonna grab it for you. No.
Oh, okay. You said 146?
146 and 3. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 146, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Put not your trust in princes, nor in the son.
Read that part again.
Put not your trust in princes.
Why is it saying princes?
Like a ruler, basically.
Like a ruler.
Like the president.
Right? Like somebody who is in charge, somebody who has money, wealth, influence, someone who can sway policies and decisions and make decisions for the people.
Right.
Like, don't put your faith in them. Don't put your faith in Joe Biden. Anymore?
Go
ahead.
Nor in the Son of Man.
Nor in men. Go ahead.
In whom there is no help.
There's no help. They can't help you. What they gonna do? Make you some idle promises, which has been going on since black people started voting. Black people did all this hooping and hollering, and then I got other black people telling me my ancestors died. They died so you can vote. No, the hell they didn't die so I can vote. Who laid down and took a brick to the face and said, I want my descendants to vote? Nobody said that. Nobody died for that. They died, of course, because they wanted you to have a better life, and they thought that you voting was the way to get it. They thought that you could play the game, but you can't play the game that the oppressor has. Read it again one more time from the top.
Put not your trust in princes.
Yeah, you can't trust Joe Biden. You damn sure can't trust no oppressor. Go ahead.
Nor in the Son of Man.
Right. Nor in men. Go ahead.
In whom there is no help.
There's no help in them. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Oh, Slacker, that's it. All right. Anything else pertinent in that article? You can take a quick scan and let me know. Any questions online before you start reading that?
Oh, Slacker, also, to a dog, he said, also, can a leopard change its stripes?
Spots? Is it spots?
SYRIPES?
Yeah, stripes. Mm-hmm. Leopard don't have stripes, but I get what he's trying to say. A leopard can't change his spots. Right? Meaning this, you can't change the devil can't change who he is. He is who he is. Right? Let's get 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 5. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 5. That your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men.
Your faith shouldn't stand in the wisdom of men. Again, we talked about the wisdom of man. What's wise to a man is not wise to the Most High. The Most High says, my ways are not your ways, or your ways are not my ways. Your thoughts are not my thoughts.
Right.
The Most High knows. That's why it's in the scriptures. He knows that we as a people are going to put our faith in a man, in a prince, in a king, in society, right? And then we're going to be duped. We're going to be looking for an answer, and we're not going to get an answer. So the Most High said, what? Read it again.
That, verse 5, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men.
Right? That's not where your faith should stand. Your faith should stand in the Most High. Go ahead, Kwame.
So like, that's just like a good slave. Because even when we was freed from goddamn Egypt, we wanted to go back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Again, putting our faith into it's bad to put your faith in man, but it's damn sure bad to put your faith in a whole different nation of people.
Right.
You know, you putting your faith in America for what? Like, America has already proven that it hates blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All you have to do is look at history. How much longer? The scriptures say this, O ye simple ones, how long will you love simplicity? You ever been called simple? Somebody call you, it's offensive, ain't it? Sit your simple ass down. You know what I mean? Somebody call you simple, you like, well, damn. Like, you got to think about it. Simple, like 2 + 2 simple. No, you 1 + 1 simple. Like, you are simple. The Bible saying that, oh, ye simple ones, how long will you love simplicity? You simple, you're dumb, you're stupid to think that America or this oppressor will ever love you enough to let you vote him out of power. Who does that? What nation has ever gained, rulership by voting someone out of power? Nobody. Nobody. Any more, Quan?
Verse 6. How about we speak wisdom among them that are perfect?
You can drop that. Let me get Jeremiah 17:5.
Kettle come.
You got it?
Kettle come.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man.
You're going to be cursed. And that's what's going to happen to you. Cursed be the man that trusted in man. Go ahead.
Kettle come. And make it flesh his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And whose heart departed from the Lord.
Your heart departing from the Most High. For what? Because you trusting in man? That's what we've done as a people. Our hearts have departed from the Most High. And what do we put trust in? We put trust in money. We put trust in education. We put trust in the oppressor. We put trust in a false religion. Like, we got trust in all these things. But guess what? Our heart has departed from the Most High. Go ahead.
And you got a lot of people, I got to clear it up. Because, people say, see, the Lord said not to be trusting man. So what y'all teaching is we can't be trusting in y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's stupid too, because if anybody listen to us, we say don't trust in the Lord. Put your faith in the Most High. That's where you need to put your faith, is in the Most High. Now, if I say put your faith in the Most High, what does that mean?
So like his words, this book, everything we read is coming straight out the book.
How do you show you have faith in something?
By doing it.
By doing something, right? Well, what should you be doing if you have faith in the Most High?
You should be in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and keeping these laws, statutes.
Not only that, that's damn sure true. In the more general term, you should be doing what the Bible says to do. Right. If you say that you should trust, if we tell you to put your faith in the Most High, means you have to do what the Most High says to do. Right. And of course, that's going to lead you to the Isupk. If the Lord loves you, the Lord, if he don't love you, then you'll be, in some of these other Israelite groups, and that'll be that.
Right.
Any more? You could drop that. Let me get, Let me get Salaki. Proverbs 3 and 5.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Don't lean to your understanding. Your understanding says, you know what? This oppressor telling me to vote, I gotta go vote. P. Diddy telling me to rock the vote, I gotta go vote. Some other cat telling me to vote or die. Well, damn, I don't want to die. I guess I'll go vote. You leaning to your own understanding. You're not listening to what the Lord said. The Lord said, don't put your faith in princes. You got to trust in the Lord so your heart don't depart from him. Because otherwise you'll be reading this list where Joe Biden made over 100 promises on his campaign trail that he ain't fulfilled. Right. Damn sure ain't fulfilled none for black people. Right. Don't say he gave black people no stimulus. You live in America. Prisoners got the stimulus. You shouldn't feel special. I mean, the niggas that's been cast away got the stimulus. Right. I know my brother got a stimulus. He locked up. He like put that on my books. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't do that specifically for black people. He did that for everybody. You think Joe Biden gonna give you 40 acres and a mule? He's gonna get you reparations. He's gonna fix he ain't gonna fix the potholes in your community. Joe Biden, listen, all that funding that they getting to fix highways, that ain't coming to your community. That's gonna be on the highways and the rich neighborhoods. You might get a couple streets that's, that the police gotta ride up and down, but other than that, that's it. All right. Go ahead, Tajabah.
And keep their business going. So.
Exactly. Any more?
Verse 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Go ahead.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path.
Man, that's what you want right there. How is he going to direct your path? Is he going to come down and talk to you personally to direct your path? Is he going to say, hey, you down there smoking that weed, let me direct your path? Is he going to do that? How are you going to direct somebody's path?
Through the priests and prophets.
Through me and his class right here telling you to stop sleeping with that whore. Stop smoking weed. Stop aborting your baby. Stop being a drug addict. Stop being a drunk. Stop being a homosexual. That's how the Most High is going to direct your path. He ain't going to look at you while you sleeping with some man and you a man and be like, hey, you, I'm going to direct your path. Nah, that ain't how it works. Read that part again.
Tell them kind of one. Verse 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Right.
And he shall direct thy path.
Right. Any more?
Verse 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes.
No, well, that's good. You could drop it, but that's good. Don't be wise in your own eyes. Go ahead. Let me get Proverbs 28 and 26.
It's like you said, Proverbs 26.
28 and 26.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool.
Read it again.
He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool.
Right.
But whosoever walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
That's who's going to be delivered. You walk wisely. What do we read? What is wisdom? The wisdom is what the Lord provides in his Bible. But he says the wisdom of this world is folly. Like all these scriptures, if you want to get these scriptures, a lot of them too, when I was pulling up scriptures, you can pull up, you can type something general in. Put your faith in the Lord in a bunch of scriptures, and you can use a lot of those too. It's good, but this is essentially it. Here's the bottom line of this class. The bottom line is Democrats are liars. Republicans are liars.
Right.
Americans are liars.
Right.
Your oppressor is a liar.
Right.
Your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right. Joe Biden did nothing on his list. Even his own constituents are turning against him. And you know what? Virginia didn't turn Republican. He just won it. He just won it for the election. That wasn't even a whole year ago. Now people in Virginia are like, you know what? This Democrat, this Joe Biden, he ain't did what he said that he was going to do. Guess what? I'm voting Republican. Boom. And then guess what? When it come around to the to that 4-year term where he got to be voted in again for his second term as president, now excuse me. Now he's got to go on a campaign trail again. Now he got to go down to Virginia. So you know what? I made a mistake. I said I was going to do this, and I didn't do it, but I'm going to do this. And black people going to be sitting there like, you know, just dumb and stupid. You're dumb and stupid. Matter of fact, I do want that scripture. How long will you love simplicity? Let's get that one real quick. How long will you love? Because you're just sitting there dumb. It's the same thing. It's like the definition of insanity. Which I don't know if that's the real definition, but of course people say that all the time. The definition of insanity is when you do the same thing over and over. Matter of fact, we need to get the I'm gonna get the definition of insanity while you look that up. Oh, go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 22. Mm-hmm. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
The Lord is calling us simple, and that ain't a good thing. A good thing is like something being simple is like a problem. Like that's a good thing. When you got a simple problem, you could, figure it out. It's like, oh man, this is a problem here. It's just, we got to tighten this up. Boom, we ready to rock. Right. That's a good, it's good to have simplicity or a simple recipe. You making dinner, you got some kind of meal you preparing for somebody, and you got, 50 ingredients. You're like, man, this is gonna be a nightmare. Right. But guess what? You making boxed mashed potatoes. You just pour the flakes in there and add the water. That's simple. You know what I mean? You making hamburgers and hot dogs. That's simple. That's good to be simple in. But when it comes to the knowledge of living and trying to, survive and be a righteous people, like it's not good for the Lord to say you simple ones. Like he's calling us dumb. How long will you simple ones love simplicity? How long are you going to be simple? How long are you going to expect another nation to take care of you? How long are you not going to put your faith in me, but you put your faith in a man? Right. It's not good for the Lord to be saying that because he knows that we're being a bunch of jackasses. We have our hearts, like the scripture said earlier, we read, our hearts have departed far from him. And we put our faith now in men. We put our faith now in education. We put our faith now in money. We put our faith now in another nation. Like the scripture say, Lamentations 4:17, real quick.
Lamentations, the book of lamentation. It's like good.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Lamentation means like to mourn, right?
To lament, right? To lament, to mourn. Yep.
The book of Lamentation, chapter 4, verse 17. Mm-hmm. As for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain help.
What is vanity? It means of nothing. It's vain. It's nothing. Like we're looking for help from this person, and it's all in vain. You ever heard that term? Yeah, he tried, but he tried in vain. Meaning he tried, but it was for nothing. Right, you tried for no reason. You're trying to love this oppressor for no reason. You trying to love America for no reason. You trying to build this. You trying to be a good member of society for no reason. America has nothing to offer blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Nothing. But guess what? The Lord's empire, the Lord's kingdom needs to be built up. The Most High needs to build his people up. There's plenty of work there. That's for something. That's for you. That's so you can rule over your people. Right. That's what's important. That's not bad. Because then you actually gonna have, a piece of the pie. You actually can own something. You can be a part of something. Here, all you can do is you can just be you can be a slave here. That's about it. Now, granted, there's a few rich slaves. It's true. Michael Jordan's rich. Oprah Winfrey's rich. Jay-Z's rich. Yeah, some rich slaves. Bob Johnson, he's rich. But for the most part, we're slaves here. Go ahead.
Kevin Conn. And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
In the watching that we're doing, looking out, hoping, praying, like expecting, we're watching for a nation that cannot save us. This is in the Holy Bible, man. This is in the Bible. Christians will never read this. This scripture right here is so paramount to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. In our watching, we've watched for a nation that cannot save us. You will receive no salvation if white Jesus is. If you wait on white Jesus, salvation ain't coming. I'm just gonna let you know. Stop waiting on white Jesus. He's not coming to save niggas. If there was a such thing as white Jesus, he would not save you niggas. He's not. He wouldn't. Lucky for you, or you know what I'm saying, for you, because there ain't no luck, but for you, right, just so happens that Yahushua, or Jesus Christ, as they call him in the world, is a black man. And he is coming to save blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But guess what? Those blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that do his Father's will, those are the ones that he's going to save. The ones who endure to the end. Can you imagine that? You get dunked in some water, like, oh, I'm saved. And you get shot down the next day. Or you die from, or you contract some venereal disease, or you get high blood pressure, and you're thinking to yourself, man, I thought I was saved. I thought, you lose your house. I thought I was saved. You're not saved because you got dunked in water. But that's what Christians believe. Again, this is the ISUPK, man. This is where we dispel all Christian dogma, all the Christian myths. Or what's one of the myths I just said? You getting dunked in water don't make you saved. You trying to join to America won't save you. You voting for Joe Biden is not going to help black people. You thinking that you a good person and the Lord knows your heart, you are an idiot. You're an idiot. Right. And it's my job to make sure that you know you're an idiot so you can stop being an idiot. I say, listen, you're dumb and stupid, okay? This is what you need to do. Come to class. Come to class and truly learn how to serve the Lord. Right. And change your life. And guess what? The Lord won't destroy you. That's what it is. It's conditional love. And here, the world talks about unconditional love. But in here, we teach you that the Most High love is conditional. Right? How we know his love is conditional, Paul?
Like, what do you mean by conditional?
Conditional. There's conditions that have to be met.
Okay. Conditional.
How do you know that?
Because we do it.
No, it's very simple, and it's kind of a broad question. I know I hate to ask such broad questions, but give me an example in the Bible. How do we know, right, the Lord's love is conditional?
Break down conditional again, you say?
Conditional, meaning you have to meet. If I say, I'm gonna come to you. Give me a second. If I say, in order for me to pay you $50, you have to come over and shovel my driveway. That's a condition, right?
Okay, it's possible.
It's a requirements.
Okay.
Requirements, right? Okay. The Lord's love carries requirements.
Okay.
Or conditional. Just like people say, I got unconditional love for my children. Right? You hear that a lot? I just love me unconditionally. I can cheat on you. Right? That's what people in the world, they want unconditional love. You just go and do what you want to do and I'm supposed to love you. That's not love. How do you know? Give me an example. This is a very general question, I know, but how do you know that the Lord's love is conditional based on the Old Testament?
By the law, the testament of the commandments.
It's something more specific. You was on to it. I think you was about to say it. Go ahead, Tazabal. You were saying something?
Hold on, get it. I want to see it.
I know it's general, and I hate asking real general questions like that. But it's a very obvious example in the Old Testament that tells you, it proves that the Lord's love is conditional. Conditional meaning if you do this, I'll do this. Tripping.
Hey, what?
The curses.
Oh, Shalom.
The curses. The Lord said, listen, if you keep the laws, I'm going to make you the greatest nation on earth. You're going to be the head and not the tail. You're going to lend and not borrow. Right? These other nations, you're going to be above all nations. But if you don't keep the commandments,
right.
you're going to be cursed in the city, cursed in the field.
Right.
You're going to, be the tail and not the head. You're going to borrow and not lend. That's conditional love. You understand? We know that in here, love is an action. You just can't be like, I love you, and then like there's nothing. That's just words. Love is an action. You have to do something to prove that you love people, right? That's how your kids know that you love them. When you do stuff, when you say, right, because you can say, I love you, then punch them in the mouth. I don't know if I want that love. He punching me in the mouth. But guess what? You go to your kids' games. You encourage them. You give them dinner. You know what I'm saying? You get them stuff that they like. You speak kind to them. You help them with their homework. You spend time with them. It's like, man, my dad really loves me. You know what I mean? He may not say it, but I know through his actions. Like, I like being around him. He takes care of me. He protects me. He guides me. That's love is an action. So the Most High has conditional love for us, meaning we have to meet the conditions or the requirements for him to show that love, for him to perform his action. And that's it, man. That's what the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge teaches. So we want as a nation for God to, execute his promise. And his promise is that we would be above all nations on the face of the earth. That's what we want to hear. That's what we try to encourage other black people to get. They think we crazy. They talk about us. We in a coat. We look like Power Rangers. This is what we teach. Joe Biden is not going to make us the number one nation on the planet. Joe Biden, no, we about to close it up. Joe Biden ain't going to make us the number one nation on the planet. Can you see that? Can you imagine China calling up Japan and be like, hey, can you help us become the number one nation on earth? Like, black people don't realize how ridiculous it is for them to beg from their oppressor. You can't call up another nation like, hey, I know you more powerful than me, but I want to turn that number one. That's basically what we asking from our oppressor. So I know this shit, you all rich and powerful, but we want to turn. We begging. In the Isupk, we teach our people, ain't no reason to beg. Only being you have to beg is the Most High. You beg and pray to him. Beg that he gets this oppressor off our neck. Beg that he forgives us. Beg that he will accept us back. And then we do our part. And then he'll take it from there. You understand? So with that, unless there's any questions, I'm going to pass the class to Precinct Officer Cornpart.
Isupk security announcements. We the Isupk started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They have to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is commandment. Numbers 18-21. Malachi 3:8-10 means 10th in Hebrew. Ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or a teacher. Priest fund. Free will offer for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, we got the Feast of Dedication, November 28th. It's on a Sunday. Bring your family, bring your kids, bring your wives. If anyone want to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. With that, a module, which means to rise. Rapunzel Hakudam means turn the face to east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawu. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakika. Taba'at. Atazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazah. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Nathan. Lenawu. Lekam. Call. Yawam. Wasalakanawu. Kawafinawu. Kasalakanawu. Kawafinawu. Wala'ah. Tabiyanawu. Banasawan. Abor. Awashanawu. Ayan. Rad. Hayah. Lekub. Amalaku. Wala'alu. Walapar. Lawalayim. Amen.
Lord's Prayer in English. Our
Father,
which art in heaven,
hallowed
be thy name.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
The Hakat, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua. Babu Kushah. The Thamanawu. Hakat. Lava Pa'ah. Kal Makalah. Ukal Madawa. Hakat. Latahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakat. Lahakim. Hamathium. Hakat. Avakawa. The Tamalu. The Garshon. Bashim. Yahusha. Tuaraman.
In the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh. Why Yahushua. Wam Yaka'ala. Wa Lahayim. Atazab Ba'ar. Alawat Yahana. Halawat Yahana. Oh, Shalaki. Halawatmi. Hasarayim. Hakwatasayanyim. Hakayayanyim. Wahakwatiyim. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua. Tuaraman.
In the English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushua. And Michael. And the angel. Commanding General Yohanan. The general. The captain. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you.
So be it. Anointing prayer in the Hebrew.
Pray here this name.
Anointing prayer.
In the middle, maybe they can see you.
Anointing prayer in the Hebrew. Yabaraka Yahweh. Wa Shamaraka. Yah Yahweh. Pinyahu. Ayaka. Wayakanka. Yeshar. Yahweh. Pinyahu. Ayaka. Wayashim. Lekat. Shalom. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahushua. Barak. Rapat. Magun. Hagun.
All of the short of Israel.
Done.
All the steward of Israel. Hazayan. Adalam. Done. All the steward of Israel. Done. Ba'ashim. Yahusha. Tuaraman.
Isupk curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against
Thy
us.
prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of
That
Israel.
refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter in thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And their nations.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
Court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinhead.
Skinhead.
Posse Comitazi.
Posse Comitazi.
The gay movement.
Gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
The cable access channel.
The cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction to all the heathen.
And bring swift destruction to all the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
Or try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
From broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth and consume them.
Through the earth and consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plague shake.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine.
Let Yahweh shine.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucer.
Come down with the flying saucer.
And punish all the heathens.
Punish all the heathens.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it be known by all.
Cause it be known by all.
That is the angels that have done it.
That is the angels that have done it.
Cause it be spread through the media.
Cause it be spread to the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So, which means to turn. Curse you to the teacher. So, men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yes, Matai. Curse you to the sister watching online. So, men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Thumb by Shem Yahweh Shah. Like Yahweh, Shamar, Al-Athan, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. What you're saying is, Lord in Christ, watch over you sisters. Yes, Matai, class dismissed.